Hello and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle Wednesday, May whatever day it is.
17th.
It's May 18th. May 18th. Oh man, it's
Wow.
Time's going, man. I've been out of it.
Don't mind me, I just had to chew a mint the fastest I've ever chewed anything in my life, so you guys couldn't hear it on the mic. That was like rapid speed right there,
Yeah,
bro.
man, it's hot out in these streets. Sun's out. You know, a lot of happening. NBA, we got conference finals happening. But before we get that, let's do a little recap on the semifinals. And man, we thought we was get some good game sevens, but before we get to the massacre, ooh, the Celtics Bucks game 7, it was close for a half, and then the Bucks wore down. The Celtics just wore them down.
Yeah, we talked about this all series long. They're too relying on Giannis and Holiday, and the rest of the team really gave them nothing. And one thing I'm ecstatic about is that somebody finally proved me wrong this season. I've been on the money. I'm glad I wasn't on by my Celtics.
The Grant Williams show, that's what this game was about, man. This dude, first he missed because he started off like 1 for 5 or 1 for 6. And I'm like, this dude in game 7 jitters get to him. And next thing you know, switch. I'm like, well, that's been their game, the Bucks game plan all season. We just gonna give them threes. If they make it, they make it. And it was like, you just can't have that be your game plan, especially when you're on the road, because role players on the road, nah. But at home, you keep giving them open shots, they're gonna make them at home.
Yeah, man, that's what we needed. The Celtics were relying too much on Tatum and Brown to bring us home. Pritchard came up big off the bench, knocking shots down. He was struggling the whole playoffs to make a shot. Yeah. And Williams, every time he made a three, I was just thinking about Mook, like, he gonna force you to call him a shooter. So, you know, like. But what's dope is that he took 22 shots compared to Tatum and Brown always taking the bulk of the shots. So these guys
half of them was half open.
Yeah, but they were forced him to make. They were forced him to make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you're gonna beat us, Gary gotta beat us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And he definitely did. And I just think it's dope that these guys are getting more and more confidence, because you see the maturation in them, because you see how they got over the hump. I was talking about they were gonna lose this game 7 just because they couldn't put two solid games together, and they finally did.
Well, you know, if you keep getting open shots and you ain't making them, you know where you gonna end up, watching the game from the bench. So he definitely had no choice but to make those shots. But yeah, it was big for them. And then the Bucks, we was just like, their game plan was just, the Bucks would be a better team. Like, granted, they won a ring, but they be winning despite of their head coach. Like, that dude be making some of the dumbest in-game decisions. I can't even talk. In-game decisions, and you know, they've shown when they get the ball down to Brook Lopez in the post, he could go in there and get it. But then they just, as the game went on, they just kept slowly going away from it. You know, every time Giannis got double team, it's like he'll pitch it out to somebody, they can't make an open shot. But it's just like your other 7-footer, he got to be effective.
I thought those two were built for the playoffs, just because there aren't that many teams that have a 7-footer who come off the bench half the time. You know what I mean? And then you got your all-pro wing who's almost 7 feet tall themselves. Like, if you understood matchups, the Celtics shouldn't have won. That's how I personally feel, just because like we couldn't really match up that well with them. But kudos to the Bucks coaching staff for doing what they do and allowing us to be great. Yeah. But one thing I don't like when analysts talk about there's no pressure on the role players and certain things like that. When you play in Massachusetts for the Celtics, there's pressure on all 5 of y'all when y'all out there. That's just how it is. Cause
usually games are won because of what the role players impact. You know, and this also went back from Game 6, because Game 6 that fourth quarter in Game 6, the Bucks made that run, and I think Tatum scored like 11 in a row, and then they scored like 15 or something in a row because they cut it down to 4, and then they just went on a run. It was all just like easy shots too. Like one they kept leaving guys open at threes, and it was just at some point you just gotta stop leaving them open threes. But it was just like, man.
And too, like I said weeks ago, like the Bucks really aren't that interested. I didn't think they were a back-to-back team at all, and they need more shooters. For Holiday to be, for one, your best shooter was out. You know what I mean? He was hurt, Milton. But, like, for you guys to only shoot 12% from the 3, like.
Terrible.
You better off trying to win with all layups.
4 for 33.
Like that, and Holiday was 0 for 6, which is unheard of.
He's usually good for at least 3.
He's usually good to make 1. So that's what I mean. It's unheard of. He goes 0 for anything behind the arc. So like they just had too much. I want to say too much workload, too much on them for the workload.
Yeah, definitely. All right, then the next. This one. The Suns, man, their season just came crashing down thanks to the hands of Luka and Spencer Dinwiddie. And
don't forget Brunson.
Oh my gosh!
They let 3 players score 89 points.
Yeah, and it was just Luka scored like the first 8, I believe. He scored the first 8, and they. I don't know what happened to the Suns, but the Mavericks, they came out there with more sense of urgency. And they were out there playing team ball. They were out there making shots. They were just doing whatever they wanted out there. And it started with Luka, because once he said, he legit set the tone in this one early, and then everybody just followed suit in it. And then the Suns, man, that's a bad way to go out.
Yeah, for you to get smacked like this at home is awful. You know, a lot of people saying they had the worst game of their season. They definitely did. And you can have the worst game offensively, but defensively, it's still unacceptable. You can't let 3 guards score 89 points on you.
You can't give up 20. I said give up. You can't score 27 points in the first half.
Hold up. Don't forget, you can't score 10 points
in a quarter
and think you're going to be effective in the game, especially in playoff series.
Yeah, because basketball is a game of runs, and it was just like they had no type of rhythm going at all. They took them out of everything that they were doing the first couple games at home. Mavericks just took it all away. They
were completely out of sync. I thought they might have just been a little exhausted. You know, I could be wrong, but my thing is when no one scores over 15 points on your whole entire team, something's up.
Nobody knows what was up, but it was just a terrible performance. And I think Luka took it. It seemed like Luka took it personal because of all the stuff they was doing. The Suns were doing all that trash talking and stuff. He's out there scoring and laughing and just, you getting your behind whooped when the dude is just out there laughing every time he makes a bucket. My big saying, if you're going to get your behind whooped like that, you might as well start a fight.
Yeah, Luka's a little different. People forget he's been a pro since he was a teenager. So, he looks at things a little differently, probably a lot deeper, just because he's been winning for a long time, grinding it out, playing in tougher playoff situations. So this is all right, I see what the cream of the crop is, and I'm gonna try to push myself to that level.
And then for those other guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, he was struggling this series, and he made a couple shots, and then the next thing you know, he's knocking down 3 after 3 after 3, getting to the basket. There was no reason. Yeah, it was relentless.
Yeah, like we could understand the Suns losing just because Dallas is a legit team, a legit opponent. But to get smacked like that, that's gonna sit with you all summer.
And then DeAndre Ayton getting benched in the midway through the third quarter. I think he played only 17 minutes and stuff. And it's just some internal stuff happening between them. And there's a lot happening with those guys, with that franchise right now. And it's this a microcosm of that. You kind of know when there's trouble in the franchise when you put up that type of performance.
Yeah, too. It's like they're the type they get to the peak of the hill, and it seems like they peak over it. And it's I don't know.
Yeah.
So they got to find a way to get over the hump.
And then you got Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Well, Chris Paul played horrendous, but Devin Booker, Chris Paul 37, Devin Booker, you the young one, you supposed to be the guy to, when things like that happen, you got to get buckets, and you did not get nothing, not even give him a fighting chance.
He didn't. He only took 8 shots the whole game. You know me, I do the percentages per quarter. That's only 2 shots per quarter. What is this? So, I don't know if they're gonna explode. they're gonna blow up that situation because that's what it's looking like based on the performance they put out there. Some guys might not be happy. I don't want to, put any words in anybody's mouth, but it just looked like something's off with that franchise.
DeAndre Ayton, all the guys he got drafted with, they picked up their extension. They picked them up their 5-year options. or fourth or fifth year options, they haven't given him an extension, and he wanted a new contract in the offseason. They never gave it to him. So I think he's a little unhappy about that, despite the improvements he's made. So
I just hope that didn't come into play with this Game 7.
It probably
You know
did.
what I mean? Because that's like, it's like you're kind of letting down the franchise, letting down your teammates.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna say you quit on anybody, but I just don't like the way that sounds.
That's what it looks like. And the Suns owner is a piece of trash. So
That too.
he's a trash human
But
being.
they all say too, to get paid, you need to produce. Not saying he wasn't producing, but you know how some franchises are, bro.
The owner don't like to pay. That's essentially it. The owner don't like to pay.
All right. Hey.
And lastly, and the last one, the Warriors won it in 6. They got Game 6 Clay in this one against the Grizzlies, and they're moving forward to their 6th Western Conference Finals since like 2014, 2015. Quite the stretch for these guys. Everybody thought they wouldn't even get back to this point just because of everything that's happened to their franchise, especially players getting hurt and stuff, for them just to come back. But hey, man.
I mean, they made the right moves. Granted, they made some moves in the past couple seasons that didn't stick, weren't that effective. But for you to get Andrew Wiggins and to turn him into what he's became, and then Clay had his best game of the season.
Yeah.
Game 6. But if they would have lost that game, they'd been like, well, Clay's not fully back yet in full strength. So I'm glad he went out there and performed.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Clay.
Yeah, definitely. And this one, it was like the Andrew Wiggins show. In this one, because he was out there, he did his thing offensively and defensively. He knocked down a few threes. His defense was pretty stout and stuff. Give kudos to the Grizzlies. They made a game of it without Ja in it. They tried to keep it close, but in the end, their youth and inexperience showed. It was just like they went back to the Minnesota Timberwolves IQ level.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have your leader out there. And it just so happens that your leader's the point guard, the head of the monster. So if he can't keep you guys an even keel, then somebody's going to do something ridiculous. Like Brooks started the game off wild. He was jacking everything. But honestly, though, I didn't see the Grizzlies coming out as whatsoever. Warriors out-rebounding by 26. Had 10 blocks there, 6? Grizzlies only scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. Some guys scored that in a quarter themselves.
Yeah.
So I just didn't. They kind of just fell apart there, and which was expected from a young team that doesn't have their leader out there. So
yeah.
Kudos to them though. They competed though, definitely.
They definitely competed. They made it interesting. They got some promise going forward. But for the Warriors, another Western Conference appearance. If these guys are able to get back to the finals and actually win it, we're gonna be talking a whole lot difference about those guys. Just their place in NBA history, if they're able to pull that off. All right, conference finals. Last night, Celtics Heat. It was like a tale of two halves for the Celtics. I don't know what they did at halftime. I think they went like to South Beach or something.
I was knocked. I fell asleep for that like 3-hour span.
Oh man, yeah. The first half they started off great. They were playing well, making shots and everything. Then not even the second half. The third quarter came. The Heat went on a 22-2 run. I think the Celtics had 8 turnovers in that quarter. They were like they made 2 shots the whole quarter. They were out of sync that third quarter. Just out of sync. Lazy passes, telegraph passes. They just played sloppy in that spin. And I'm like, this is the second time they've done that this postseason. I'm just like, what is it about the third quarter that just got y'all all discombobulated? Because literally that's what lost them the game.
That's crazy. Because I used to coach with English from Mac. Like that was our issue. Like the third quarter too. Like how they responded after sitting down for halftime and all that stuff. Like you had to get them going. But, it's like a thing in sports. Like the Chiefs third quarter, like it's when they either kill you or lose a game. But I read the article yesterday when it said Horford and Smart wasn't playing.
Right before they made that announcement, like a couple hours before the game. They found that out a couple hours before the game.
Well, once I read that, I was like, oh, he got game 1. I'm torn by this series anyway because my 2 favorite teams. So it's and you're gonna get away with those mishaps with the Bucks, those lazy passes and all that. The Heat pride themselves on stopping you from getting buckets. So you're gonna have to. value the ball, be more shot passes, be more selective on your decisions, and you're gonna have to compete all 4 quarters.
Yeah, the turnovers. It was just one of those confusing third quarters. You just like, bro, what are they doing out there? You kept saying that to yourself, and then, all right, we get it. Jimmy Ball is a hooper. We get it. This dude got 18 free throws. 18 free throws. I got no problem with him 18 free throws. But my thing is, on the other side, when Tatum's going to the rack and he's getting people grabbing him and he's getting these, they don't give him no type of calls like they was giving Jimmy Butler. It was like at some point you couldn't even breathe on him. Anytime you breathe on him, that's my only issue. I'm just like, yo, Tatum attacks the hoop all the time and he was barely getting to the free throw line.
That's something I got mixed feelings about because Butler draws that contact. He makes you call the foul. Tatum don't always make you call the foul. Let's just be real there.
He don't, but sometimes it's like.
That's Tatum's like aggressive, wants all the contact. Tatum don't really want all that contact, which isn't him yet. You know what I mean? But that will become him, and he's seeing that. If you're not going to go you have to go strong into the basket. Jump off 2 feet, get that contact. Stop jumping off one all the time and trying to dunk and fall on the ground when you can hit a little bit. Obviously, they're not giving it to you. So you got to be more aggressive when you get to the basket.
Just blow the whistle the same way. That's my big thing. And this was what I knew it was bad. They got Derek Wright and Peyton Pritchard on the switch. Anytime that he did a pick and roll or high screen and roll, it was Pritchard and Derek White on the switch. And it was food each time. They were letting a dude named Gabe Vincent oh my gosh. I was watching that game, I'm just like, every time I'm like, oh, switch, here it goes, he's going to the basket. Layup. Oh, switch, post up, that's nothing. And I'm just like, and this is where they miss Marcus Smart right there, because Pritchard and White are decent, but defensively, there was nothing they could do about anything that happened in those screening rolls. And with all that said, they got it back down to 3 at one point, and they had a chance to win this game. And then if you look at like the box score, they won every single quarter, but in the third quarter they got outscored 39-14.
But when you look at the stats, though, Miami kind of dominated them defensively.
Yeah, because they was giving them lazy passes.
I'm talking about the 12 blocks to 8 for the Celtics.
Oh, yeah,
the 10 steals, you know what I mean? So it's like they gotta be more selective. They gotta be more aggressive going to the basket. You can't be leaving it out there to get it punched like Bam did.
Yeah, those passes were just.
He gave the ball a wedgie.
Yeah.
So you can't have no more wedgies.
Yeah. Once again, we had third quarter.
And if you don't know what a wedgie is, it's when the basketball gets stuck between the rim and the backboard.
Yeah. Man, that third quarter was just can't even explain how poorly they played in that third quarter. But once again, you never react. It's only one game.
Yeah, I mean, it's only legit game. Came off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you shoot
7-game series. So.
I feel bad for Grant too. He might need I hope he took an ice bath or something because he was getting messed up and then he got kicked in the face.
Oh, the Heat game?
Yeah, got kicked in the face. Got drilled in the back.
He's like an undersized big too, so it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Keep being strong, my man.
Oh man, he need to definitely ice it down. All right, game 2 is Thursday. So hopefully they get one of those. Well, hopefully they get one of those guys back for Thursday's game. But if not, they gave themselves a chance in this one. So they're still competitive. They were still competitive. Beside that one horrible quarter. All right, Golden State and Dallas play tonight, game 1. It's going to be an interesting matchup. It's kind of going to be a fun matchup because what the Mavericks did to the Suns, they could do to the Warriors too, with putting Luka in that high screen and roll and putting him in the post against any of those guards because he's shown whoever you put on him, he's still going to get in the post and he's still going to get his shot off. And you can't leave those guys open because once he gets going and then those other guys gets going, it's like, okay.
I don't think there are many point guards left in the playoffs that could even match up with that man physically. So, that's already going to be, a point of emphasis for the Mavericks, just to get Steph and all them guys to post, even claim the post.
Yeah.
Just because Luka's just a big, massive guy, to play the point.
Yeah.
And then, thing is, though, I don't think they have enough for the Warriors, though. That's just me personally. I wish, Gary Payton Jr. was playing, but I think the Warriors have enough. They got too many shooters, bro.
Yeah,
they space the floor out so well that it's just hard to recover. It's just tough.
Yeah, they do. They do. And it depends on the other players, the role players, how they step up in this series. If they don't step up and make shots, because this game could get ugly. Because they don't shoot the ball, they don't shoot the three as well as the Warriors do. You know, they're not shooting it that great, but they don't shoot.
Well, that was kind of my prime example of last game with the Mavericks, how you had 3 guys that scored 89 points. Yeah. And the rest of the team didn't do much at all, like 4, 5, 6. Like, you got Warrior guys you got guys off the bench that'll give you 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So them guys, the bench players, I mean, the overall team for the Mavericks has to step up.
Yeah, definitely. And they play well. They play well at home. It's just on the road that they've been having those issues. So maybe they could reciprocate, or they could do what they did against the Suns. But yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a fun series. I think this one's going to be a fun series because both of these teams present problems for each other. And one thing the Mavericks do have is they could out-rebound them. They definitely get on the board. So the Warriors have shown you could get some boards on them. So I think it's going 6 though. But I'm kind of leaning towards going with the Mavericks in this one because I kind of want to see a Mavericks-Celtics series because that'll be one interesting series. But I think the Warriors are going to take it in 6. I think.
I'm not sure, but I got the Warriors.
Yeah.
But if the Mavs win, I wouldn't be surprised because Luke is he's showing y'all once he gets adjusted to the NBA, when he figures it out, this is what you're seeing.
Also, we got to give credit to Jason Kidd, too. There was a lot of people questioning him early on in the season and even questioning the hire, but the adjustments he's made and how he's got this team playing, they were struggling early in the season, granted with injuries and stuff, but they were just struggling early in the season. And then the changes they made, and then the second half, like you could say, the second half of the season, I mean, the Celtics and the Mavericks were like the 2 best teams from January until the close of the season.
Man, everybody know J.K. can coach. He was a coach and he was playing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Basically, with the Nets, he was basically their coach. Let's be real. Like, it's just the personal. People can't let go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forgive, don't forget, move on though. You know what I mean?
Like, before we get to the last NBA thing, you see Patrick Beverley over here acting a fool, being a purified hater.
And you know me, I'm all about free, open speech, feeling how you feel, but that came out very haterish.
Haterish. My thing is, where was the same energy last year from him? Where was that same energy? I mean, why didn't he do it last year when they lost in the finals? When the Suns lost in the finals? Like, why were you just randomly this time you decided to go out and do the most and talk all this crap? And then, but you can't be talking trash about a dude that gave you 41 points and got your team out of there in the playoff games. Nobody forget that.
But he has this image now, this villain type image that he was able to create based off his hard work and perseverance. Grinding through the league. So I think now he got a voice. He's displaying it, but I'm all about respect, you know what I mean? So you can feel how you feel about a guy. A guy could be a bum, but you can still respectfully call him a bum. You can say he's just not that good. So, there's certain ways you can go about it, saying the whole, I'm not going to sleep with Chris Paul compared to Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry runs around like Reggie Miller. I imagine you go to bed early just because it's attract me. But don't act like Chris Paul in the Hall of Fame, though.
He gave you 41 points.
That too.
You should have. Sound like you should have went to sleep.
Granted, you can say you might personally feel about certain things, but don't be dragging other guys in it, and pulling names and
this is you. You decided to go on Twitter. This is you. Own that, and it just came off very haterish.
I'm just not gonna attack Patrick Beverley because I respect him as a player as well. He shows hard work pays off. He's just not Chris Paul. Chris Paul's an All-American coming out of high school, scoring 61 points for his grandfather and stuff, having ESPN stories and stuff, and he did what they prophesized him to do, end up being he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. So I don't get too much into this.
You just can't be coming off as a hater like that. Like, come on, man. Especially your team got eliminated in the first round too. Like And then you talk about y'all wanted to see the Suns in the playoffs. I mean, if y'all played better, y'all could have matched up with them in the postseason.
But as a competitor, you shouldn't fear anybody because I don't know what fear is.
Yeah.
And two, as a competitor, you want to see everybody because you got 20/20 vision. Like,
yeah, definitely. And he's doing what he was doing is the stuff they be talking about how they hate, like how athletes talk about what media members do. Patrick Beverley was doing the exact thing that they hate media members do. So it's just like, dude, come on, man. you should have just stuck on Twitter and talking trash on Twitter where it is. You don't go on a national TV for 2 days and try to bash people. Then then JJ Redick was over him.
I mean, JJ got some sense.
Yeah, JJ Redick was because they were talking about they was talking about Celtics and Heat, and then JJ Redick was talking about how Jason Tatum is like which the stat shows he's a way better defensive player than he was previous years, and then he's just like it's like, oh, they should. He's like, did you watch the?
But you're talking to a guy who gets paid to play defense, so he prides himself on defense. So you ain't getting consistent stops. He don't see it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't get too much.
Came off as a hater.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody, it's YouTubeable, YouTubeable. So
new word, new word, YouTubeable.
So you can research and find it. It's there. It's always gonna be there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, the NBA draft lottery also happened last night. The Orlando, I don't get the draft lottery, but the Orlando Magic, they won the draft lottery, so they will be having Chet. They're on Chet watch. Or Paolo watch.
I thought it was homeboy from Auburn.
It's one of those three guys are going number one. Chet, Paolo, and homeboy from Auburn.
I forgot his name. I'll talk.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting if they draft him. Him and Jalen Suggs will be reunited again. But
now, question: do you think the lottery happened because teams were so bad every year that they kept getting number one picks, so they had to make a lottery to make it somewhat even for the bottom of the barrel?
It's something like that.
Because I'm saying, now they should go back to the worst team gets the number one pick.
Or something like that. The draft lottery used to be something like, I think this might be the Celtics' fault too, because I remember I think they won a ring one year and then they got the number one. They had the number one overall pick. So I think the Celtics kind of.
We do have mad championships.
Yeah, and also the draft lottery was also a way to just like balance things out with those other market teams that they wouldn't get no stars if it ain't for the draft.
But I figure now, like the way the league is now, worst team get number one pick.
Yeah, you would think, but
just to help develop your franchises compared to like the worst team getting the fifth pick and it's like they trade them. It's like, oh, come on,
like to do it in the NFL.
Yeah, like what is this? Like just.
I think they just keeping it. It just adds more to the drama and it just keeps things interesting. But there's some dogs coming entering in this draft. Some of these they're gonna realize life in the NBA for your first couple of years getting drafted by a bad team. You'll see why you got drafted by them, because it ain't gonna be fun losing all them games. So
just have fun getting buckets and improving just your skill set. So when you do get traded or get the opportunity, you make the best of it.
Yeah. So the draft lottery goes as the first 14 picks are Orlando, OKC, no surprise, Houston, Sacramento, Detroit, Indiana, Portland, the Pelicans, Spurs 9, Wizards 10, Knicks 11, Thunder 12, Hornets 13, and Cavs 14. If the NBA really wanted drama, they should have gave the Cavs a number one pick again, like they normally do when they don't have LeBron over there.
And it don't even matter.
Prize.
And it don't even matter if he's good or not. Like you're still gonna get him. Like they got Kyrie and they got Bennett one year. Like
oh my God,
I thought he was gonna be okay. I didn't think he was gonna be just straight out the league.
I didn't think he was gonna be number one overall pick.
No, I never saw that. But
yeah, no, I don't think anybody saw that.
Nah, I don't. But I just thought he would have had some stint in the NBA still, come off the bench or something. But hey.
Hockey, the Bruins, man, they lost a tough Game 7 to the Hurricanes, 3-2. They fell behind 2-0 in this one, and they were playing catch up the whole game. They were down 3-1 at one point. Got a late goal in the third inning, but I said third inning, third period. But the case of this series, it was always the home team that won each game, and it was like they just couldn't put it together.
I mean, last time we talked about the Bruins, past couple of shows, they weren't doing so well, so I'm glad they competed.
Yeah, they didn't get blown out this time because they was getting blown. They was getting whooped down
it was
there.
Like 9 goals or something like. So I'm glad they competed, you know. But just wasn't our year. Hopefully, make some trades or some transactions in the off season to improve our roster.
Fix the goalie a little. Fix the goalie. You know. Just get some help over there. Get some more forwards to get you some points because some of those guys are getting old in the tooth.
Old in the tooth. just old, just teeth and hockey just cracked me up.
Yeah, because none of them got it. but the Bruins finished this. They finished off this season 51-26-5, and you know.
Speaking of hockey, did you see that little segment they had about the guys missing their teeth and all that?
No.
Oh yeah, they got a whole little documentary about guys missing their teeth for like Stanley Cups and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Guys are saying I'll trade my whole set for the Stanley Cup. Like, and you know that's the only sport that's known for guys walking around with.
More power to them.
Yeah, you know what I mean, with pocket spaces and
I
that.
ain't trading my teeth in for a championship.
I ain't trading my teeth in for nothing.
I would like to smile.
That's all I do.
Right?
All I do is smile.
All right, let's go to Athletes Corner. This one we got Mathias Fowler talking about his college, where he going to college, Central Connecticut. So check that out. We're going to come back. It's nice out. But did the Red Sox win? We don't know.
I don't even know what's going on with the Red Sox.
Man, it's the Red Sox. All right, and welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. A little different setup right now. We out here in the lobby. Studios being used. I got Mathias Fowler here with us. Milton Academy. What is going on, man?
Nothing much. Just waiting to graduate. Went through the school year. Just chilling right now.
Man, a lot has changed since the last time me and you talked. Was that your sophomore year? Your junior year English, and things have changed since then for you, man.
Yeah, things changed a lot. Yeah.
Talk to me about it, just everything that's been happening the last couple of years for you.
Left junior year. Left was supposed to be my senior year, the COVID year. Transferred to Milton Academy. COVID year, no football season. Was able to play one season at Milton Academy, DB receiver. It was fun. Had a good season. Went like 11-1. Lost in the championship game, but it was fun.
Was that kind of wild? You transferring, going over there, and then everything that just happened after that, you got to deal with not having a season. A lot of people not having seasons or having small season, but was that just crazy? Because up to that point, you ain't never had a fall without football season.
Whole life had a fall. Whole life I played football in the fall, and that season literally made me feel like so weird. Like I'm not I wasn't in pads, and Lynn had a couple spring games, right? Yeah, so I'm watching that on YouTube, and I'm like, this literally does not feel right. Like, how am I not playing football and they are?
Yeah, it was also crazy that it was in the spring that it was happening, like the spring football you watching. Because I know you guys played spring football as youth. Did you do that? You didn't even
I never
do that?
even played spring football as youth. I played baseball in the spring when I was younger. Now, yeah, they have mad youth spring football leagues. I'm like, if that was around when I was younger, I'm like, I'd be loving that.
Yeah, that's crazy because it was like, because that year was so many, for a lot of players throughout the state, that year was so, they were anticipating that year because a lot of players, they were anticipating that to be their breakout year, and then for them, and it was just so crazy that a lot of them just kind of had to do what they can to just try to get film out there.
Yeah, that year was supposed to be a pivotal year for like a lot of people, and to be honest, that just not being able to have that one year gypped like a lot of people's like college careers, and like that never happened to like any other, like the COVID year never happened to another like high school career like besides the recent one.
Yeah, definitely. For you, how was when you got there, you had to make the adjustment, going from Lynn English to Milton Academy, just academically and just school-wise. What were some of the adjustments that you had to make?
Milton Academy, it literally feels like college. Compared to Lynn English, Milton Academy is just on a higher level. Like, you have to, first of all, I'm living at Milton Academy. I'm not with my not living at home anymore. Yeah. And then it's basically college level courses all day, longer school days. The teachers treat you like you're just an adult. It's not, you don't feel like a little kid anymore once you're there.
Yeah. Was that kind of more beneficial in a way, just to get that kind of know what to expect for, because some people don't have plans of going to college, but for those that have plans of going to college, was that beneficial, just to know, okay, this is kind of what I got to get ready for, because you got to do that. And then there's also the athletics part, because you got to do that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, even with the athletics, we'd have double sessions at English, but we literally have 3 days of triple sessions at Milton Academy. The summer leading up to the football season was just nuts. It literally felt like I was in college, but I had to remind myself, I'm still in high school. It's crazy, but yeah.
And also, you did play against some good competition while you were at Linfield English, but the competition ramped up for this one with all the other prep schools around the area. Just talk about the season. You talk about you guys going 11-1. Just how was it going up against, you seen guys that are signing D1, they're signing their letter of intent to play at D1 schools. Just how it was like playing against those guys.
Playing against those, I don't know, watching film and just knowing who you're about to verse, it would get me hyped before the game. I'm like, oh, I got a 4-star coming in. Each team has at least 3 or 4 4-stars, or a couple people going D1 that you know of, just by word of mouth. But yeah, it's a great feeling. If you want to be able to play at that next level, it's fun to be able to verse people going to that next level.
A lot of people say you don't really know how fast some of these dudes are until you're on the field with them, especially guys that are that are up there in weight, right, that are 250 plus, that you don't think could keep up with your speed. And did that kind of hit you too, where you see D ends and linebackers kind of keep up with you a little bit as speed wise?
Yeah, it hit me a little bit. I wouldn't say they were too close to me, but there was a few guys I was they should not be moving that fast. Even just the size difference. Playing at Lynn English, my linemen, because I played quarterback junior year, my linemen, I'm still able to see over them. They're probably 6 foot, max. Playing in this league, every lineman's 6'5", 6'4", couple 6'6". I'm when you're on the field, you literally feel like you're just giants on the field. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. What were some of your memorable moments from the season? Besides you guys going all the way to the chip,
memorable moments. The biggest one I feel is I had a friend that went to English too. He went to Lawrence Academy, Phoenix. He played running back, a little bit of linebacker, and he went to Lawrence Academy, and they were also undefeated when we versed each other. So it was 6-0 versus 6-0. It was just a heated game, but Milton Academy pulled through, and it was just a fun game, being able to tackle him, just verse him, good athlete.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of because there's a lot of players that at one point they want to make that transition to go to a private school or prep school. What would be some of the advice that you would give them for those younger players who want to do that later on?
I feel don't do it too early. Fill out what you can do at a public school, or how it's going, where you're at. And if you really want to be able to play at the next level and you don't like that what the college offers and interest that you have coming in, start looking towards a prep school and just get your mind right. That you're gonna be doing another year of high school and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And for you, senior year was such a big year for you and your team. What are some of the lasting memories you're gonna have from being a part of that program?
That program, it's a very good program. Coach Mack, he runs a great program every year. Just the teammates, the team chemistry, it felt like a family. Lynn English felt like a family too, but this was another brotherhood. And just, great senior year, to be honest. Yeah.
And you being coached by so many people throughout your life, was it, when you make a transition and you're coming from one coach to another coach, is there something that you kind of have to adjust to as far as what the coaches are doing, or just how they're using you?
Yeah, Milton Academy, not so much, I would say, because I was just fitting in as a receiver and DB, and since I've had years of experience of just playing football, it was easy for me to just jump right in, and the coaches knew that, so like that helped a lot. And yeah, I wouldn't say it was too bad, but if you're playing like a position like quarterback or something like that, it's definitely more to like adjust to.
Yeah, definitely. And then you made your decision with Central Connecticut State.
Yeah,
Central Connecticut State. I mean, how was it? So first, let's talk about your recruiting process. Just how was that whole process for you? How did you enjoy it?
Recruiting process, it's stressful at times. Like junior year, I had a couple looks from a couple D1 schools, and they were like, they had me by the leash a little bit, and then like pulled it away. Like they weren't really giving full like offers type thing. And then Milton Academy, going through the summer, hit a lot of camps, hoping to like get college offers and stuff. You get on a lot of coaches' radars, but during the season, I started getting good feedback from like a good amount of coaches. I was finally able to get film out there because I've literally COVID year. There's no film. I'm like just sitting on junior film. Yeah. But it was stressful. I'm happy that I was able to commit recently, and to be honest, I just wouldn't want to go through that again.
Yeah. What was it about the school that made? What was it about the school and also about the program that made you decide to go there?
They're a really good program. I was loving the coaches on my first visit, and how they were just bringing me in, young coaching staff. I was loving it, and a couple like friends that I know through football that go there just telling me how good of a program it was.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think, my co-host, his dad went there.
Oh,
yeah, his dad went there and played there. This was like in the 80s, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Tinkham, too. I was talking to
his brother went there?
Brother, yeah. He was a captain there. He was a beast.
Yeah, his dad was telling me that when they were here. Speaking of Tinkham, you've seen it. A lot of guys you played with, grew up with, they've also have made their decisions to go to college and pursue their athletic and academic career. Just for you as a kid coming from Lynn, that's doing that as well. How happy are you just to see that your peers are also going that and following their dreams of going to college and trying to play athletics in college?
It's the best feeling seeing it, because when I was younger, not too many going through freshman year and just middle school, not too many people even going to college for football in general, or even going to college just to go to college. And being able to see Wesley, Jesse, Josh, a few people on that came through here and did their interviews, I love it. It literally puts a smile on my face. I'm like, oh, these guys are going to play at the next level. It's the best feeling.
Actually, going back to a little bit with the Lynn English, those guys, Jesse, Wesley, and stuff, obviously they were teammates of yours when you were there. They didn't have, Wes had what happened with him in Maine, could not having the season, so coming back here, for those guys and all the things that they accomplished, for them having such a young team, how happy were you just to see them, especially for them getting that shot, because they were behind you guys early on, and then when they were supposed to have their chances, they couldn't even get the season, but then they got the season, and were able to show some of their talents.
Nah, what they did is awesome. Because definitely my junior year, we had a pretty stacked team. It would be tough to be able to showcase your talents on that team because, yeah, I think Wes just started getting into it. Jesse was trying to get into it. Josh too. We were trying to bring them up through the program, and for them to only really have 1 year to be able to showcase it, it's just crazy. That's true adversity.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for a young team too. There was such a young team with so many young players all over the place. Man. What are you gonna miss most about just high school football?
Miss most about high school football. I don't know. Just I don't even know what I'd miss most about high school football. But going to Milton, I know that I missed just growing up with the people that you go to high school with, and them being able to see your games and come to your games. That felt different at Milton, and being able to transfer, which felt like a college experience. I feel I missed just going to school with the kids you grew up with and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pretty different.
Hey, man, but in hindsight, you feel like you're fully prepared for the next phase of your life.
Yeah, I'm prepared and excited. I literally can't wait.
Yeah, man, well, I mean, when do you actually have to be on campus?
Pretty sure it's end of June or early July, something like that. So I'm gonna be down there pretty soon.
All right, man. I think our time's up. Before we get out of here, plug your social media for those.
Instagram, Mathias Fowler. Twitter, follow Mathias. Sir.
All right. It's Mathias Fowler. He's going to college to play some football. So hey, you got there's some siblings behind you that we should be looking out for too.
Actually, no, I don't got no siblings behind. I got my little sister Mariah. I don't know if she's definitely gonna go to college. But
How about athletic wise? She doing
yeah,
anything?
athletic wise, gotta check her on the soccer field. She's a beast on the soccer field.
It's on the soccer field. All right, man. We'll check her out when she.
She goes to English too. Yeah.
Oh, does she? Okay, I gotta see. Now I gotta look out for her too. Look out for her. All right, man. Appreciate you coming down, man. Beating that Boston traffic. You guys been watching Athletes Corner. We're out of here. All right, thanks Mathias for that interview. Okay, we are back. As you can see, the weather has been nice outside past couple days, so that means the Red Sox have won 3 out of their last 5 games.
Oh, they winning it. They winning it.
But they lost last night 13-4. Yeah, it's a 3-game series, home series against the Houston Astros. They won the first game 6-3. Then last night, I don't even know who. It was 7-1 at one point through like 3 innings, I think. Pitching continues to be an issue with this team. The pitching is just not that good. They scored 9 runs in the second inning.
Ooh.
The Astros. They scored 9 runs in the second inning. And then they added 4 more runs in the 4th inning.
This was at home?
This was at Fenway.
Oh.
Yeah. Your pitcher didn't even last 2 innings.
See, I don't have Facebook anymore, so I didn't catch any slander. And I don't think I follow many Red Sox fans on Instagram, so I didn't catch much wind of that.
I think a lot of Red Sox fans right now are just like trying to get through it because they know there's a lot of issues with this team, especially the pitching.
I'll be honest. If I go to a Red Sox game and they score 7 runs in the second inning, you're going to have to carry me out of that game. By then, I'm no longer interested in watching the game. I'm going to have a good time.
I'm leaving. That's all. You score 9 runs in an inning, I'm leaving. That's it. That's probably the most runs I'll ever see at a live baseball game. I'm out of there. There's no need for me to stay anymore.
Well, you carry me out there.
Bro, they gave up 5 home runs in the second inning. How do you do that? 5 home runs in
I can only imagine what it's like as a pitcher to have that happen to you multiple times. I know, like, actually, I've never missed a free throw for game. You know what I mean? A real game. But, like, I haven't. So I don't know what it's like to lose the game for a team. But, like,
that's a long. That's gotta be like
I don't know if that's like you on the mound and they hit like 3 or 4 home runs off you. It's like, and you got the pitcher walking, you're like, he's coming to get me. Like,
that's like a lonely walk back to the dugout. Cause you just know, damn, I'm trash, and everybody's just looking at me as I walk, do the walk of shame.
Yeah, I always wondered that, like, cause I know baseball's a team sport, but being a pitcher, you on your own, brother. Like, for real. It's like a kicker, like, you on your own.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, you can't talk to nobody too, because if you weren't giving up home run, everybody just looking at you in the dugout like.
You can't complain about nobody. All you can do is look at your right or left arm. Yeah. Everyone was throwing that thing.
The thing about baseball, when they in the dugout, they could go in the locker room and they could hide out in there.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, at that point, you just gotta go in the locker room, call it, take a shower, regroup.
And try not to cry.
They play again today. First pitch is at 6:10, so hopefully they bounce back from that. But geez Louise, 5 home runs in an inning, yikes! We had some boxing. Jermell Charlo, undisputed middleweight champion, and what was an exciting, entertaining fight on Saturday. But I don't think many people were surprised by the result of this one.
I already told Pedro we were going down. He already knew I was going down. Once again, told him, them fried chicken boys. See, look, come on.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got to give Castano Castano, whatever it is, I don't know, Castano. You gotta give him credit for, for actually putting together a good effort, because it could be intimidating going up against a guy like that who's known to to drop people. But all you can do is applaud the effort. But in the end.
Yeah. You always got to clap for two men fighting in the ring, getting it on, because that's just a different type of energy.
Yeah.
That's a different type of nerves, just different type of competitive nature.
Yeah.
So I always applaud them two men fighting in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's next for him now for Charlo. I mean, what's next? Who's next for him to fight? Who's
from the looks of it, nobody.
Yeah.
All them belts he got on.
I know. Pedro, is there anybody coming up that's gonna give him a challenge or?
The son of a Hall of Famer, Costa Zoo. His name is Tim.
Oh, okay.
And also Sebastian Fundora. I think he's Mexican American.
I don't know, man. The ref don't look. He believes you.
6'6".
Okay.
Okay. So all right. Well, we'll see. And then Pedro. There's also some fights coming this weekend, correct?
David Benavides. I think 168 pounds.
Okay.
All right.
Check it out.
Yeah. For you boxing advocates, all you boxing fans out there, you just got a whole lot of boxing news from the boxing expert in here. You can't see him, but you can hear him.
Raiden.
You won't see me. It's not right now.
Let's go to some high school sports, some throwback high school basketball highlights. Go back. It's 2002. I think it was an opening round of the state tournament, Bedford at Lynn Tech. I think it was the opening round or the second round. It was one of those. Check these out, and then we're going to come back, NBA Top 10, and wrap this up. And we are back. Okay, let's go to NBA Top 10 then. Yeah. right, and we are back. Oh man, the show has gone by quickly, and we have come to the end of it. Ooh, terrible news for running back Tariq Cohen. He tore his AC Achilles while working out. He plays for the Bears.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Lynn kid.
Oh, no.
Oh, got me nervous. All right. I mean, that's unfortunate, but I thought it was like a high school kid or something.
Oh, no.
All right.
Let me specify, NFL player.
All right.
He tore it.
Man.
Yeah, that's, ooh. Yeah, ouch.
I got a birthday shout out.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday to my Uncle Craig. Yeah, I don't really remember his birthday that much. I'm not that good with his. But love you won't. Don't want to think I don't love him. So I sent him a text over the weekend.
Yeah. Also, happy belated birthday, my other cousin. They had a birthday. You know, all you May babies, happy birthday to all y'all. You know, I can't be remembering everybody.
And I apologize for you May babies who I forget. Oh, my cousin Nicole Pettyjohn, her birthday passed too, because my daughter only birthday I really remember. Then June, my mother's whole side of the family born in June, so I just
I got family. Yeah, I got birthday. Oh, jeez Louise.
Me and my grandmother.
Before you get out of here, I saw your cousin.
Which one?
Yeah, the one that goes to English. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, I had this daughter.
Oh, Josiah.
Yeah, I saw her, right? I
I
saw her walking to school. She was late.
All right.
Right, so I'm like, yo, you're Todd's cousin, right? She looked at me, she's like, you're Todd's cousin, right? She's like, Todd Burton? She's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And she gave me that look like, yo, my cousin knows what's up. Hey, man, he got eyes everywhere. Like, gave me that look like, yeah, he got eyes everywhere. Like, she can't do it. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'll report back.
Yeah, man, appreciate that, man.
I see you. Just show up to school on time.
And you see what Mook does for my family, I do the same for his. And if anybody sees my daughter in the future, you know what I mean, speak up.
Yeah. But that was hilarious. It was hilarious. The look she gave me when she was like, "Oh, Burton." I was like, "Yeah." Like, who else?
And if we know, and if we know your kids, we gonna look out for them too, because we see everybody everywhere we go.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially at the gym.
Yeah, definitely. LynnTV.org. Make sure you check it out. Website. Go to the website. All that. LCTV After the Whistle Instagram page. I'm gonna start posting some more throwback highlights of basketball games and all that other stuff. So make sure you go there. Facebook, Lynn Community Television, all that good stuff, and come hang out. We're open till 8, 3 days a week. And if you need a membership, come on down. All right. It's gonna be hot this weekend, so make sure you people that don't like the sun, get that sun spray on, and we're out of here.
Deodorant.
Maybe powder a little bit.